Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Permettez-moi de vous présenter les typiques New Ancient Fife and Drum Corps de Lafayette, Indiana. Les uniformes que nous portons et la musique que nous jouerons sont celles de la compagnie franche de la marine. Cette compagnie de soldats français était en Amérique du Nord à 1680 jusqu'au milieu du XVIIIe siècle. Ils ont protégé la région des Grands Lacs, descendant de la Wabash, Ohio et Mississippi, aboutissant à la Nouvelle-Orléans. Nous sommes vraiment heureux d'être ici avec vous aujourd'hui et nous espérons que notre concert vous plaira. Merci. If you didn't catch that. We are the Tippecanoe Ancient Fife and Drum Corps from Lafayette, Indiana. The music we play, the uniforms we wear is that of la Compagnie Franche de la Marine, the Marine troops of France. They were stationed in this area from the 1680s to the middle of the 1700s, and they protected a line of forts and establishments, ranging up the St. Lawrence, across the Great Lakes, down the Wabash, Ohio, and Mississippi rivers, all the way to New Orleans. We're very happy to be here, starting our 55th year of fifing and drumming in the Midwest. Ladies and gentlemen, the Tippecanoe Ancient Fife and Drum Corps.
Dans le canon. Mettez la baïonnette pour le canon. Quel est vos gestes?
Oh, they got ringed out.
Essayez de le faire. Mettez la cartouche dans le crayon. En joue. Monsieur. Oh! Ah non. Ah.
compliments of 22 that I already have to pay for my card. And the fees that I have to pay for school. $15 an hour. $33 an hour.
Fife and drum corps. Tippecanoe Ancient Fife and Drum Corps. as we exit the battlefield, just check your programs. We'll be having an artillery demonstration pretty soon, followed by children's games and the favorite the frying pan toss, and that'll be followed immediately by the battle.
While we're waiting on the artillery demonstration, we want to again let you know that the battle, there we go, the battle that you're going to see reenacted here at 1 o'clock is truly a theater and around. We have soldiers that come out of the woods over there. We have others that come over here on the left and right. So, and they move about the battlefield. So wherever you sit, you'll be able to see. So as people are arriving at the battlefield, we have ample seating over here on my far right that you're welcome to say. If you have a video camera or a camera that you'd like to get a little higher viewpoint, we do have a review stand down here on the other side of the pole that you're welcome to get up on top of, and that's where we'll have the person that speaks to us.
All right. So welcome to the artillery demonstration. We're going to crank a round off. Then we'll tell you by step how you load and fire this gun. And then who knows what happens after that. We have soldiers from 2 different Revolutionary Artillery units on the field here in front of you today. Those with the dark blue coats with camel-colored facings on them are from Alexander Hamilton's New York Provincial Company of Artillery. We also have 2 soldiers from the Continental Artillery. Alexander Hamilton was a student radical. That's nothing new in American history. He was a 21-year law student at King's College in New York when the shots were fired at Lexington and Concord. And he became a fervent revolutionary. He enlisted fellow students as well as sailors from the New York waterfront to form an artillery company. He had some money he'd been given to attend college, and he spent part of that money in equipping his soldiers with leather pants. That's why they have a kind of used look to them. You also see one woman on the field. This is not common on Revolutionary Artillery crews. However, that's an important part of American Revolutionary War folklore, the story of Molly Pitcher. Molly Pitcher is actually a combination of 2 women who did the same thing. They were the wives of men serving on artillery crews, and when they became exhausted during the battle, their wives stepped up into their positions on the gun crew. It's a great piece of American Revolutionary folklore, and so we're going to celebrate that here today by having a woman on our artillery crew. The gun they're firing is an iron version of a common gun used in the Revolutionary War. It's a 3-pounder made by a Dutch gun maker named Verbruggen, who had contracts with the English government. And about 100 of these were imported into the colonies for the Revolutionary War. It was a small gun by period standards, but they were effective on the frontier because of their light mobility. More common were 6-pounders and 12-pounders. All right, our crew is going to load and fire a round right now. After they do that, then we're going to go through the steps, and you can see the steps in loading and firing the gun and what each person on the crew does. So, let's have a round. If you have a hearing aid, I encourage you to turn it down. Any small children, cover their ears, and also keep your mouths closed when the cannon goes off.
Handle cartridge! Advance the cartridge! Load! Ram charge! Pick and prime! Fire in position!
Here it comes.
Pick ready! Give! Fire!
All right, nicely done. We're now going to go through the steps of loading and firing a Revolutionary War cannon. This drill was also used in the Civil War, but in a simplified version. So now the Revolutionary War version of the drill for loading and firing a cannon. The gentleman standing halfway between the cannon and the ammunition box is the gun commander. He issues every command for loading and firing the gun.
Sir!
All right, he's just given the command for the soldier at the left front of the cannon to insert a hook, twisted wire hook, down the muzzle of the cannon. He's removed remnants from the last powder cartridge that was fired. When cartridges are fired, part remains inside the barrel. So this soldier is removing that debris. The soldier opposite him on the right front of the gun has a moistened sponge, which he's putting down the barrel to extinguish any sparks from the last shot.
Handle cartridge!
This is the command of the soldier in the rear to grasp and then carry forward a cartridge for the next shot. Revolutionary cartridges for small guns like this were self-contained cartridges. There was a projectile tied to a powder bag, so with a single push of the rammer, you had both powder and shot loaded.
Load the cartridge!
He's given instruction to load.
Wow, that's a big piece of fish.
Ram!
To ram the charge to the back of the gun, he'll tap it down to make sure it's seated all the way at the base.
Pick and prime!
The command pick and prime means the soldier to the right rear of the gun inserts a brass pointed pick down the touch hole of the cannon to poke a hole in the powder bag. And now he's inserting a quill. It was called a quill. By this time period, it was no longer a goose quill, but it was a tube containing finely ground gunpowder. This is inserted into the touch hole to create a continuous stream of gunpowder from the outside of the cannon down to the main powder charge. He raises his hand again, the gun is loaded.
Fire in position!
The crew stands away from the muzzle,
Make ready!
and the linstock carrying burning rope is brought near the touch hole of the cannon.
Give! Fire! Boom!
All right, let's go ahead and do a real one, shall we?
Down the bed!
All right, the vent pick goes down the touch hole to clear the touch hole from the last shot.
Mark!
Hook's inserted, then moist sponge. We'll do it twice to make absolutely sure there's no sparks remaining, since the guy in the front will blow his hands off if he doesn't do that.
Handle live cartridge!
All right, he's issued a command to bring forward a cartridge.
Advance the cartridge!
Hey, you all right?
Up!
Hey, the sun's shining.
Ram!
Let's put this on.
Here's again, once again, ram toward the rear, should tap down to make sure it's solidly at the base.
Pick and prime!
Hole poked into the rear of the cartridge bag to make sure it's clear all the way to the surface, and then the quill inserted.
Fire in position!
Stand back for safety. Here it comes.
Ready! Give! Fire!
All right. Now they're going to do one more at combat speed, so let's see how well they do.
All right, down the mat! Sir! Handle cartridge! Advance the cartridge! Load! Ram!
They can load it nearly as fast as a musket, but they have to re-aim after every shot. That takes most of the time up.
Fire in position!
Adjust the aim.
Make ready! Give! Fire!
So we have just shy of a minute over a long period of time to continue firing from guns like this. They shoot a variety of projectiles. They can shoot solid iron cannonballs to a range of about 1,100 yards. They can also fire grape shot and canister shot, cluster munitions, which will fire a group of about 8 feet at 100 yards. Shotgun shooters in the crowd. All right, we're gonna do one more shot, but this time you'll be the gun commanders, and the crew will fire the gun on your command. So I'll count out 1, 2, 3. You will then scream to the top of your lungs, because they're deaf. Scream to the top of your lungs, fire, and we'll see how that works, shall we? All right, they're loading up. Cannon on the battlefield are highly destructive, highly useful, but they're also highly valuable targets as well, so it's important to move gingerly.
Handle cartridge! Advance the cartridge!
I encourage you to remember that they're all half deaf, so just saying.
Ram! Pick and prime!
Are they loading?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna be all. Just a powder run.
Fire in position!
All right, now it's your turn. 1, 2, 3. Could the little girls in the crowd help out a little bit this time? Remember, they're half deaf. Let's try it one more time, shall we? 1, 2, 3. Fire! Huzzah! Nicely done.
Yeah, we got brand new floor.
Fall in! Like Pennsylvania, fall in!
That wasn't horrible, but it wasn't.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Alexander Hamilton's Artillery, Continental Artillery, and our very own Molly Pitcher. Thank you very much.
Frying pan, right? All right. So you're going to take that frying pan, you're going to turn around and throw it out into the field. So get on the other side of it. Listen, you get a drum roll. First of all, we want to get your name.
Joanne Lee,
And Joanne, where are you from?
Mount Pleasant, Utah.
Mount Pleasant, Utah. So where is Mount Pleasant? Don't say Utah. Is that near Salt Lake City, or where is it near?
It's 100 miles south of Salt Lake.
All right, everybody got that, right? So that's where you live. That's great. Welcome to Vincennes. Okay, we're going to count you down to 3 in French. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3. Trois, you can throw it out on the battlefield. It's not where it hits, it's where it stops. So it can slide, it can spin, whatever. If you break the handle, you get to take the pan home with you. All right, crowd, you're going to help them out, right? 1, 2, 3 in French. 1, 2, 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yes, you're in first place. Huzzah! Woo! All right, the bar has been set pretty high. So you got a brand new frying pan too. You break the handle on that, you owe me money. Okay, what's your name and where are you from?
Heather Johnson from St. Louis.
Heather Johnson from St. Louis. All right, go Cardinals. All right, right. What? No, don't throw it in. Wait. All right, Every crowd. Un, deux, trois. Oh, yeah. Woo! You're in second place now. All right. Maybe we should just stop and give her a prize, right? Okay. And your name, where are you from?
Melissa Woods, Rockport, Indiana.
Rockport is near Terre Haute or where?
Near Evansville.
Near Evansville. I went the wrong direction. Sorry. Okay. All right. One, two. You got a new frying pan too. Nice. All right. On the count of three. And you're already damaged. Yeah. Un, deux, trois. All right. You know what this means, don't you? Third place. All right. And we got somebody in period clothing, and you are?
Eva Hawking from Mount Carmel.
Eva Hawking from Mount Carmel, Illinois. Right? Okay. And she got an old rusty one there. The handle might snap on that one. All right, let's see. Are you a softball player? No? Okay. Un, deux, trois. Nice. I think you pulled something on that one. Maybe. Okay. By the way, this luxurious crew of judges. Oh, Ellie made it. Nice, nice. Good to see you, Ellie. Okay. The girls out there have been coming since they were in 4th grade. That's Colette, my granddaughter, and her crew of faithful volunteers have been coming here for many, many years. They're soon to be juniors in high school. And you are?
Wendy Anderson from Petersburg, Alaska.
Petersburg, Alaska. And I've been to Alaska. I'm not familiar with Petersburg. Where's that?
It's 100 miles southeast of Juneau on a little island that's 16 miles wide.
And so how did you hear about the rendezvous, or you have a local connection? Or?
I'm staying now down in Evansville because I'm old and retired and Alaska is hard. And I heard about it from a friend on Facebook.
Very good. Okay, well, welcome to Vincennes. And so we're going to count her down in French. Un, deux, trois. Well, you win the prize for height. I don't know if we have a height prize or not, but anyway, we have a Petersburg, Indiana. You know. Yeah. I wonder if that's named after Petersburg, Alaska. And you are?
Jennifer Campbell.
Jennifer, where are you from?
Originally Chicago, but now I live in Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Okay. All right. And I told her that we'd count slow since she's from Kentucky now. So, all right. Oh wait a minute! I better get out of the way. Un, deux, trois. And she got down in a serious crouch. Got a nice slide. Look. Nice pose afterward. Might be in the running. Who cut the grass? Nobody. All right. New York City. New York City. I mean, come on. Woo. Got Alexander Hamilton over here. We got New York City now. You are?
Kara Busey.
And Kara, you're from?
New York City.
There you go, right? And I drafted your son to play in the history contest, but we couldn't find him in time, so no problem. But you're going to win a food prize for him, right? Sure. No, now you can hold, but if you like that handle, you can throw it from there. I'm not telling you what to do. Okay. Un, deux, trois. That looks pretty good. Oh, it's stuck in the ground. Sweet. See what that got you? All right, got 3 more to go. Here we go. Number 8 and number 8.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm from Jefferson City, Missouri.
All right, Jefferson, Missouri. Jefferson City, Missouri, right? All right. And she got an old rusty one. This will go far. Aim for that guy without the hat. He left his hat at home. How did he do that? All right. Un, deux, trois. She got 5 round of spin. That's not bad. That's not bad. All right, contestant number 9 is?
Tracy Ash from Lawrenceville.
From Lawrenceville, right across the river. Okay, from Lawrence County. And she's using my advice to take the handle. Let's see how she does. Un, deux, trois. Again, another nice height. That's not bad. Hang in there. Our last contestant came from, I forgot now, it's been so long.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, so are you part of a group here, or how'd you make it here?
Sally and Alan are my aunt and uncle-in-law.
Oh, we got a ringer.
Our battlefield directors, related. All right, well, welcome back to Vincennes. All right, here we go. Un, deux, trois. And she went with, oh, nice. Woo! I think you might be in the running. Okay, let's let our judges calculate our first, second, and third place. Avery, if you'll come to me with the food coupon.
She didn't listen to my tour not to throw it there.
Oh,
She
yeah.
listened
You
to
finished.
She didn't listen to the third.
All right, here's what our wonderful ladies that threw the frying pans. Our third place gets quick fried taters from the Abundant New Life. She got what? Oh, she's second. You're third place.
I did mess up. Sorry, you were frying the first time.
Oh, I'm totally confused. Anyway, this one wins shish kebab from Jesus Name Apostolic Church. This one wins quick fried taters from Abundant New Life. And this one, our winner, wins a piece of pie of choice from First City Sunrise. A big round of applause for all three of our participants. Thank you, ladies.
We just want to show you tactics that were used during the American Revolution, so everything you see should be reflective of the time period between 1775 and 1783, when the United States was fighting for independence from Great Britain. And we've got obviously two sides in the war, and we tend to call one side British and one side American, and actually we'll discuss a little more later, but there were Americans fighting on both sides during the war. We think maybe only a third of the colonists were ever in active rebellion against the crown at any given time. So I'm going to call the, quote, American side the congressional or the congressional side, or the continental side, since the Continental Congress was the acting U.S. government of the time period. And our, then I'll call the other side the British, or the Crown Forces. The tactics that you're going to see during the demonstration are based on the weapons that were used during the period, as they are with any war situation. There were two long arms available, the musket and the rifle, and we'll talk about those a little bit more. Our scenario has congressional troops down basically to our right, and they are on the move, they are on the march from one location to another. They've got, I think, a couple wagons with them. They've got some women with them, and you would have seen women fairly infrequently on the battlefield, but women did travel with the armies of the American Revolution on both sides. A certain number of men were allowed to bring their wives with on campaign. They were given rations, and I know in the British Army, the women had to serve in the field hospitals in order to get their rations. So if you're moving camp from one place to another, you would have women along with the men. Frequently, they would be marching with the baggage, and the baggage would be guarded. Back to weapons. Weapons were the musket and the rifle. The musket is a smoothbore weapon, uses an undersized ball that can be loaded and fired frequently. Uses a bayonet at the end, is capable of holding a bayonet at the end for close quarters fighting. It's a cheaper weapon than a rifle, and it was the military weapon of the period. Now you may ask, hey, I've heard rifles are more accurate. Why wasn't the rifle the chosen weapon? Couple of reasons for that. These are all muzzle loading weapons that you'll see here. The rifle is more accurate because the rifling, the grooving in the barrel puts a spin on the ball that makes it fly farther and straighter, but it takes much longer to load because you have to pack all the ammunition is just a round ball, and you have to pack the ball in there very tight so that it takes the spin from the rifling in the barrel. It might take you actually up to 1 minute to load your rifle one time. your musket, the smoothbore that's using an undersized ball, you should be able to load and fire at least 4 times a minute. So that means the musket, which is the cheaper weapon that holds the bayonet at the end, you can fire 4 times for every 1 time you can fire your rifle. So it kind of doesn't matter in a pitched battle. You're trying to stop the enemy from getting too close to you and pushing you off the field. So what matters more is frequency of fire than accuracy of fire. You might have some riflemen who are doing actually target shooting, trying to pick off officers, but what you really want to do is get a lot of shot going down the field to stop the enemy from advancing on you. So as we go through our demo, you will begin to see most of the time the guys will be fighting in a straight line, because what you want to do is being lined up facing your target and firing as often as you can at the broadest part of your target. So that's going to be, you know, you want to be face to face, so you're not firing at the side view, but you're firing directly so that you have more chance of taking down some people. You'll see now there's a little advance guard here, and then there are the baggage, the wagons and the women as they're moving camp. The men would have carried their own equipment and their cooking kettles and things like that, but tents and other equipment would have probably been carried, heavier equipment would have been carried in the wagons. They might have had wagons with horses. Here, this is a small contingent. Evidently, they don't have any horses to pull the wagons, but they've got some smaller hand wagons that the guys are pulling with the heavy equipment. And you'll see the women are in a group in the middle with the baggage, as we understand that was a position that all of that was guarded, and that allowed them not to be in the way should they, you know, should there be some sort of reason to, you know, should there be an attack by the enemy or something. But they are guarded. You'll also see the artillery piece coming along kind of in the middle of the column, again, guarded from attack, hopefully speaking. We have several regiments represented here. I'm trying to find, and I don't see them right now. It looks like they have the march going from place to place. Looks like they've stopped. This may be like a rest break. If they've been marching all day, this may be the time that they've stopped to get some water, and hopefully they've been issued their rations for the day, so they might be stopping to have their lunch. There's the people I was looking for. Coming on the field now is the Illinois Regiment. The Illinois Regiment is the unit that fought here at Fort Sackville in 1779 against the 8th Regiment of Foot, the British regiment that held Fort Sackville at the time. They're in the blue coats with the white facings, just still marching on the field with the white flag. They are the unit that is credited with helping hold this western part of what became the United States, and making it possible for the United States to claim the land between the Appalachian Mountains and the Mississippi River at the end of the war because of their actions out here in what was then the West. Now we've got, evidently unnoticed by the congressional troops, we've got some Crown forces now coming across the field. Everybody you see there in a red coat is a British regular, which means they're part of the professional army of Great Britain. If you were a soldier, you were a career soldier in the British Army. They were the largest empire in the world in the 18th century, and expected to win the war in about 3 or 4 months when the revolution started. They're much better supplied. You'll see some green coats out there on the British side. Talk about them in a minute. You hear the drum now beating the assembly. Pulling the artillery piece up. Here's some screams from the women. Another drum now beating assembly down at the other end. I was going to say the British are way outnumbered, but now we've got some further Crown forces coming on the field in the back. You'll see in a minute if you can't right now. That's the 42nd Regiment of Foot coming on the field, the Royal Highland Regiment. You might know as the Black Watch. Remember, these are muzzle-loading weapons. Takes 15 seconds to prime and load, so you'll notice the congressional forces are firing by division. One group will fire, then they'll reload, and another group can then fire. You want to keep fire going down the field as consistently as you possibly can. The soldiers in the green coats on the British side, those are the loyalists who did not think we should be fighting for independence. They're the ones I mentioned earlier, who were Americans fighting on the other side. You're the drummers beating the prime and load. They can, when the officers' voices get hoarse and they can't yell as loudly anymore, the drums are actually the signal corps. You'll notice one group now going up by the fence. But you'll notice that by and large, everybody's fighting in a straight line. You'll notice the British, especially that first force that came out, because they were so much smaller, they're fighting at extended order there. They're in a straight line, but they're not shoulder to shoulder. Both were options. You see the Crown forces also firing by division, so that one division will fire and then reload, and then the next can fire, so you can keep more continuous fire going down the field. See the 4th Massachusetts marching forward, followed by the Illinois Regiment marching forward. So the congressional forces, sometimes the congressional troops were raw recruits and very ill-trained. These seem to be pretty well trained. They don't appear to be very intimidated by the British, even though those Crown forces are professional soldiers, while everybody on the congressional side is a volunteer. You'll see a few of the women kind of deploying out into the field to check the wounded. This was not something that you would see routinely or regularly, but we do know it happens sometimes. In an instance like this, where the battle was unexpected, I think they've just sort of taken upon themselves to help out in whatever way they can, since they're here anyway, because they were on the march.
I'm wounded.
Mothers Rangers, the Loyalists, and the Greencoats over on the British side, the American citizens, have done some fighting with Native Americans, and you can kind of hear that in some of their cries out on the battlefield, things that the regular Redcoats probably would not do. You'll see one group of congressional forces way down at our left. They're trying to get a flanking movement going so that the Crown forces are going to have to fight in two directions and respond to that. Not too many casualties yet. Actually, probably in a real battle, a musket is very effective at 50 yards, still effective up to 100 yards. So you'd probably see more if this was real combat. We only have this much space, and so we've got to work within it, and it's, if we start taking a lot of casualties at 50 yards, then the battle would be over way too soon. But most of the casualties that you see out there are not dead on the battlefield. All the ammunition is a solid round lead ball. There's no exploding ammunition used in the long arms or anything like that. Even the artillery piece very rarely used any kind of exploding ammunition. So it was basically, were you hit? Oh, I said one of the congressional groups went up and now was called back. I'm not quite sure. There's a couple of congressional soldiers way over to the left, but they're in some danger because they're way too far separated from the rest of their troops. So just see what happens here. I think the Crown forces are outnumbered. We are out on the frontier essentially, so part of the result here will depend on, do both sides have enough ammunition to fight to the death, or is one side going to run out of ammunition? And there's also the matter of how many, it doesn't really matter how many casualties you took. You're considered the winner if you hold the field at the end of the battle. Most of the casualties, as I was saying, are not outright battlefield deaths. Your survival depends on where you were wounded and how well you can survive the infection that you're bound to get after the doctor has extracted the ball or amputated a limb or something with unsterilized weapons. Or well, they were weapons, but that's not what I meant. Unsterilized instruments. It looks like the artillery piece is out of ammunition, and that's allowing the infantry to move up in front of it and push back harder on the British. The British are stubbornly not giving up here. It may be that there is some of what's being moved in those wagons, maybe a pay chest or some ammunition or something like that, that there is their particular goal that they're trying to get here, rather than just harassing the enemy, because they're pretty determined. Looks like the Crown forces are withdrawing, although slowly. Their choices actually are to vacate the field or to ask for a parlay and ask for surrender terms. And we'll see which they choose to do. It may be that the congressional forces are not particularly interested in taking their surrender and taking prisoners, because then you have to continue to feed them and take care of them, and supply lines out on the frontier here were sometimes kind of thin. So just see what. Oh, now I get a bayonet charge from the 4th Massachusetts going across the field. They're joined by the Illinois Regiment, making sure that all of the enemy forces have been swept from the field. That looks like that is a victory for the forces of the Continental Congress this morning. Or I guess it's this afternoon. But thank you very much for coming out to see our first tactical demonstration of the day. We will have a return engagement at 4 o'clock this afternoon to see if the professional forces of the British Army can show that they are in fact superior in their training and discipline and supply. And there we go, 3 cheers from those victorious forces. You should have gotten a schedule as you came in, so there's plenty to do here today, as you well know. We want to thank you very much for coming out to see us this afternoon, and hope that you enjoy the rest of your day here at the Rendezvous. If you want to know more about our organization, we do have a website, which is nwta.com, that you can go to and get more information. If you want to visit our camp, it's up by the National Park grounds. So again, thanks very much for coming out to see us, and enjoy your day at the Rendezvous.
All right, another big round of applause for the Northwest Territory Alliance and all the work they do. Here on the battlefield, yet today we have the River Valley Colonial Fife and Drum will be performing a concert here at 2 o'clock. We have an artillery demonstration again, then at 3:30, and a battle at 4 with battlefield games in between. All kinds of things going on in our children's area right next door, and on the stage. We have everyone's favorite Father, Son, and Friends, and a new at 2:30. Jim's Red Pants, a new group on our stage at 4:30. In the La Galleria area over next to the permanent restrooms. Coming up this afternoon, Thomas Paine at 2 o'clock, Martha Washington at 2:30, and Benjamin Franklin at 3:30. So we have all kinds of people telling you pieces of the Revolutionary War. So please take in all that, take in our fabulous food booths, and please enjoy the rest of the day. Spread the word. We'll be here again tomorrow. Rain or shine, we promise.